Just subscribe. Oh, dude, it's like it hurts so bad. Oh, that's like TRD pain.
Notifications on. Enjoy the video.
Oh, God. Well. WWE Crown Jewel hailing from Perth, Australia. What a show. Another PLE in the books. Sorry, your boys here at C2 Wrestling could not be live for this one. As you see, I am solo running back the recap for Crown Jewel tonight. That is A-OK. An incredible show, really, top to bottom. You know, this is off the back of WrestlePalooza, a not-so-great show. That's off the back of a great one in Clash in Paris. They're running it back again with Crown Jewel. If you're not subscribed to C2 Wrestling to get all the content, all the stuff coming your way, all the recaps, all the reviews, then what are you doing, man? I mean, come on, get with the program by now. I'm going to get right into it. Man, what a show. For a show that also, again, you know, we've reiterated a lot here at C2 that it's not necessarily a worthless PLE, but, you know, Crown Jewel Championship is kind of worthless. You know, it's not something I ever really want, ever need again, even if I'm being honest. But they made it work. You know, there's a storyline involved, at least on the men's side of things. And it may have had an outcome that I didn't even expect or necessarily want, but they made it work again. You know, we're going to get into it all. I'm going to start from the top of the show. And we opened it up with Roman Reigns not just having a match, but losing a match. He took a singles pinfall against Big Bronson Reed in his home country of Australia. Now, that is a massive, massive win for Bronson Reed. No matter the way it happened, it was a street fight. Out comes Braun Breaker. Out comes the Usos. There's chaos going down. Jey Uso slips up. Somebody gets moved or pulled out of the way, and Jey spears Roman through a table. A tsunami to Roman. Big Bronson Reed gets the pin. That is the second the second pinfall on Roman Reigns in a singles match in years. Cody Rhodes and Bronson Reed are the only guys to pin Roman Reigns in what feels like a lifetime. I don't want that to go undermined for how big that is for Bronson Reed. That really solidifies him at the level of stature that I feel like a lot of people view Braun Breaker at. I feel like Braun was always kind of slightly above Bronson, but they're at an equal playing field. You know, they're maybe holding off on the Braun Roman match for a while, but I couldn't be happier that Big Bronson Reed pulled out a win here. You know, and it doesn't come without some tension for the bloodline. After the match, you know, Roman, Jimmy, Jey all sitting in the ring. Roman pissed off. This is old school bloodline drama right here. And Roman essentially told them, not even essentially, he straight up told them, I want to see you all till Christmas. You know, Roman is not happy with Jey and Jimmy, and Jey storming off, kind of making it seem like he's over it. He doesn't want to be back in the bloodline, doesn't want to deal with Roman anymore. He's never going to change. So I'm very interested to see where that storyline goes. It looks like they might be pulling away from Roman versus Seth directly for a little bit to kind of adventure into this bloodline thing. What goes on with Seth, we'll get into in a little bit again, but the biggest point of it all, again, is Big Bronson Reed getting a win like that. You got that faction now, the Vision, with only one guy having gold. You gotta. We've been fucking drilling this point home. You gotta put the tag titles on Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And, you know, I'm going to get a little bit more into the Vision again in a little bit, but I do think we're leading up to a potential tag title win for AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They hinted on Monday Night Raw about going after the tag titles. I can see that being a very transitional title run in which Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker take the belts off of them, and I fucking need it at this point. It's not even a want. It's not a, hey, you should do this. It's a necessity to get those tag titles on the Braun. An incredible opening to the show. You know, the match was a lot of fun, too. Street fight, you know, I didn't expect this to be necessarily match of the night, if I'm being honest, but the outcome means more than the match itself here with Big Bronson Reed catching a win of that stature again. But it was followed up by a Crown Jewel Championship match. Stephanie Vaquer defeats the undefeated in 2025, Tiffany Stratton. You know, that was, again, as expected. I went 5 for 5 on predictions here, so we're looking all right. Stephanie Vaquer needed the win. You can't take a loss right after winning the World Championship like that. Again, Tiffany has been undefeated. She can take an L, and it can kind of lead into the potential downfall of Tiffany and her title run. And, hopefully down the line, a heel turn for Tiffany. She's getting a little stale here. I got no shade, no hate at all on Tiffany. I feel like all the people that have been hating on her, it's tiresome and it's ridiculous. She was getting cheers like crazy when she debuted. Everybody wanted it. They wanted her so bad. She wins the championship, or the briefcase, I should say, first, then wins the championship. Everyone's loving it, and now everyone's hating it. People are just too quick to turn, but wasn't the craziest match of the night, wasn't the longest match of the night. Stephanie won in rather quick fashion, in my opinion, but that is A-okay because it saved some time for, I mean, I might cry just talking about it. I'm not even kidding. I'm as serious as I could be in saying that. That's one of my favorite matches of all time. John Cena took on the phenomenal one. AJ Styles had to rock the Styles shirt for this one out of respect. I mean, hell, if I had short tights and the fucking jacket, I would be rocking that too. Styles coming out with the old school, original, retro TNA attire, and I couldn't love it anymore. Man, the goosebumps just seeing Styles come out first with that attire, it literally sent like chills down your spine as an all-time wrestling fan, an all-time WWE fan, TNA fan. CTD and I, he's a little busy, but we're texting throughout this. We are both going crazy during this match. And before the match even starts, Cena hands a little note off to the ring announcer, Alicia, and she reads it off. A little Bullet Club shout out, a great introduction for AJ Styles. And that match, man, I mean, so many callbacks to particular wrestlers. I believe it was a skull crushing finale that started it off. Shout out to The Miz. But I wrote them down here so I can remember them all, I believe. We had a skull crushing finale, Scorpion Death Drop for Sting. We had an accolade both by Cena, Coquina Clutch by Styles for Samoa Joe, a fucking Walls of Jericho. I did not see the Walls of Jericho coming. Probably the biggest pop in the match, Cena hitting that Sister Abigail. Shout out Bray Wyatt. Everyone threw up the Firefly flashlights. Absolutely love that. Angel Wing. Shout out Christopher Daniels. We got the Orton DDT with an RKO. Cena even taunted the punt. Styles hitting AA himself. The choke slam. That was a shout out to Kane and Taker and Big Show and all the guys that have ever done a choke slam in their career. The 619 chant from the crowd. I believe that led into a fake 619 or a taunted fake fucking 619. But sweet chin music by Styles, a tombstone by Cena into the AA. Man, I think there was even a shout out to Kazarian in there too. I believe. Yeah, I might have even missed one or two, but the tombstone finish, the AA into the tombstone, all the callbacks to the match by both guys. The way that match was set up organically, even if WWE is bluffing us and they were going to run this match the entire time, who really knows? I don't think they were going to. I really think the plan was to not have this match and Cena was going to do something different. But they fucking listened here and they did it. There's no complaints. I don't care if you are a moderate wrestling fan, the biggest wrestling fan in the world. I don't care if you watch WWE, if your favorite is New Japan, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor, this or that. That was for wrestling fans. If you didn't watch that match, you're missing out. All the internet hate that all these companies get, not only WWE, everybody gets it. That was a must-watch match, and I get it. It's an early show. I didn't get even an hour of sleep last night, and I'm not fucking kidding. I got under an hour of sleep. I am not a morning person, but I woke my ass up for this PLE specifically because of John Cena versus AJ Styles. If you couldn't get to the show, I understand. But if you had the opportunity to watch that and you didn't watch that, you're just a hater. I'm being honest. You're just a hater. That was one of my favorite matches in recent memory. That probably took me back to the most feeling of being a kid since WrestleMania 40. CTD, Chris and I, we were at WrestleMania 40. We've been over that a billion times. That was the highlight of our lives, really, the highlight of our wrestling lives, especially. We also did Mania 33 and all these other events. We've done it all. If you guys haven't seen, CTD was at SummerSlam not long ago. But man, just watching that match, even on TV at fucking 9 o'clock in the morning on under an hour of sleep, had me hitting the Rocky goosebumps. It was absolutely electric. I think when it's said and done in due time, that might become one of my most rewatched matches ever. There's a couple in the books there that do include John Cena and AJ Styles in separate matches, but even though run backs they've had in the past, I've rewatched those a handful of times, but that might be my favorite match they've ever had together. And, I just couldn't be happier. I'm looking forward to these last 4 dates as Cena threw up. 4 dates, not 8, 4. I don't know what's to come. There's some rumors on the table about some other guys, so I'm hoping to see what comes to fruition. But I guess the last thing I'm going to say about John Cena and AJ Styles is for all the, again, haters out there that say John Cena can't wrestle. This dude is what, 50 years old, pulling out matches like this out of his ass with Cody Rhodes, with Logan Paul, with AJ Styles. Get over yourselves. That's the best fucking wrestler in the world. All right. An incredible match. Hoping for more for AJ Styles. The retirement run in 2026 is literally just as painful as the retirement run of John Cena. It hurts to even say that both of them are going to be done sooner rather than later. But looking forward to the final outings of the Phenomenal One and the Never Seen 17. But following up, the electric match of John Cena and AJ Styles was the Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And this match, got nearly 20 minutes, if not over 20 minutes. It got a long time. It's Rhea in her home country. I totally get it. You wanted to get her on the card, even going back to the opening match. The Usos didn't have a match, but Jay is so over. You want him to show face in Perth. It got involved in the match, There's certain people when they travel, like, they're going to get on the cards, They do these SmackDowns and Raws in these countries now, though, too. So it's not like they're going to force feed everybody. But Rhea Ripley, you know, you're going to get her on the card. It'd be like if they did a show in the Isle of Samoa and didn't have Roman Reigns on the card. You're going to get Rhea Ripley on the Australia card. And this is really the filler match of the night. It broke up a little bit of the monotony between John Cena and AJ Styles and then the Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes Crown Jewel Championship match. It was a fine match. It's cool. Sure, Rhea and Io capture the win. Kairi Sane takes the pin. We predicted it. It really is just a level up to the Asuka Io feud. I don't really know where Rhea goes after this. Maybe Rhea, Stephanie duke it out a little bit. I don't really know where Stephanie goes either. Maybe she's got some people calling her name out a little. But with Becky having the IC title right now, I don't see Becky Stephanie happening for a while. So kind of leaves me thinking they might really run like Rhea Stephanie at Survivor Series, which, I mean, I guess that'd be fine, shaping up to be a hell of a card, but they could hold over because War Games is coming up. But getting in to the main event, match 453 for Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. It's only their fourth one-on-one match, but you get what I'm saying here. Cody Rhodes goes in as the defending WWE and Crown Jewel champion. Seth Rollins has not won the Crown Jewel championship yet. This match was absolutely electric. Again, the whole show was fantastic. This match exceeded my expectations for two guys that I always expect to put on good matches too. I think that's saying something. I don't know if it tops their Hell in a Cell match just for the fact that was like pure gold situationally with the bicep injury or tricep, whatever, for Cody, and just the whole storyline at that time, the Hell in a Cell. Like, that is really a perfect match. That's a top 3 match of all time, in my opinion, the Hell in a Cell. But this is absolutely their best outing outside of that Hell in a Cell match. And there was a great story to be told here. We ran it home for a while at C2 that Cody Rhodes has to win this match. There's no other way for Seth to win outside of potentially a new member of the Vision. And there's some rumors online, some theories, but I'm not going to get into all those. Maybe that will come to fruition on Monday Night Raw or in the weeks coming with, again, War Games coming up. We'll see. But I actually think the way they did it, the way they had Seth win, was brilliant. It was a fucking phenomenal match. Every move they were pulling out, all the stops, the fucking avalanche crossroads was unbelievable. The watch spot, I love Seth kind of putting it down for a little while. I can do this. And then saying, fuck it, I can't do it. I need this. And it wasn't just, oh, the ref gets bumped, let me hit him once. Ref gets bumped, he gets put in the crossroads. A little bit of an uppercut to Cody Rhodes. Just the way it was done was beautifully executed into an avalanche stomp off the turnbuckle, whatever you want to call it. Seth Rollins picks up the win. Cody Rhodes couldn't just take a pin off of one stomp off the back of that SummerSlam match. We've been driving that point home as well. And they didn't do that. It took a lot to take out Cody Rhodes. And Seth Rollins becomes your Crown Jewel champion. And I think that upgrades not only Seth Rollins, but the Vision as a whole. You have Seth Rollins off the back of the biggest win he's had in a while. You have Bronson Reed off the back of the biggest win he's had in a while. Braun Breaker is still just fucking Braun Breaker. Paul Heyman at their side. I mean, the Vision is on another level right now. And they need to add more gold around the waist of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, as I said. But the show ended off with Seth Rollins and Stephanie Vaquer standing tall as your Crown Jewel champions. The Seth promo made me think, man, is Cena about to come out or something? Is somebody about to come out and interrupt Seth? But nobody. It does leave me very interested for Monday Night Raw. I'm intrigued by what's going to happen. That is another 8 a.m. show, so we'll see if I can fucking get enough sleep Sunday night into Monday night. Depends how the Steelers do, if I'm being honest. But we'll see how that goes. I'm looking so forward to it. Again, very sorry we could not be live for Crown Jewel this morning, tonight, whenever the hell you watched it. I have no idea. But stay tuned for Survivor Series. We're going to be figuring that one out rather soon. So if you aren't subscribed, if you aren't watching all these videos, if you aren't commenting on them as well, you're a fucking coward, man. How many times do we gotta tell you?